This shit, this shit. This shot in Kill Bill Volume 2 almost killed Uma Thurman. This was one of the last shots they were filming for the movie. It comes near the end of the movie when Uma Thurman is driving to
Kill Bill.
The day of filming, Uma Thurman claims that she was hesitant about doing the scene and had asked for a stunt driver to do it instead. She didn't feel comfortable driving the car. The car had also been modified from manual transmission to automatic transmission, and she'd been told that it might have some issues because of that. Tarantino said that they didn't think it needed a stunt driver because they didn't consider it a stunt. It was going to be a shot driving this down a road in a straight line, and they wouldn't need one. And according to Uma Thurman, Tarantino had heard she didn't want to do it. Quote, Quentin came in my trailer and didn't like to hear no. Like any director, he was furious because I'd cost them a lot of time. However, Tarantino claims he entered the trailer really happy because apparently he had tested the drive and it was a straight line and it was easy. So he had decided that Uma Thurman would be able to do it, which he was super pumped about, according to him. And so he came in being like, great, you can do the shot. We'll be able to see your face. Perfect. So two different stories there. She eventually said yes, because what are you going to do? On top of insisting she do the shot, he also insisted that she drive at least 40 miles per hour so her hair would whip in the wind the correct way. And if she didn't hit 40, it wouldn't wave the way he wanted it to. My question, how did he know that? If he did the test drive, I'm very curious if he wore a wig during the test drive to test out how the hair would wave in the air. Thurman did agree to do the stunt, but they made one change from Quentin Tarantino's test drive. Instead of going this way, they came back the opposite direction because the sun had changed throughout the day and the lighting was better now that the sun had flipped on them because of the delay, I'm guessing, with Uma Thurman wanting the stunt driver. She said, I don't want to do it. He insisted that she film it. He said, I did the test. It's easy. You can do it. He confirmed it was a straight line and there were no S curves, so it should just be driving straight 40 miles per hour on a road. No big deal. But all that was wrong. The car did handle really poorly. You'll see in the video, it was a sandy road on top of that. So she had a funky car, a sandy road. And on the opposite direction, there was an S curve. There's a big curve and it's a pretty tight turn, which later, when this footage finally came out in 2018, this was filmed in 2003, Tarantino would claim the direction he went didn't have it, but it did on the way back. And I fail to understand how that's possible for one direction to have a curve and one not on the exact same stretch of road. I guess I can't imagine a way, but I'm sure there's something that could explain it, but it doesn't make any sense to me. You can see in the footage, she has to whip the car around, and on the sandy road, she loses traction and crashes. It is pretty disturbing, honestly. I'm going to show that footage here. So you can see Thurman is smiling by the end of the shot, which is great because it looked pretty bad. So Thurman would suffer a concussion from this. She'd also injure her neck and knees. Those injuries would cause permanent damage to her. That's a horrible accident, and maybe there was some weirdness going on, but this is the part that's kind of the grossest to me. After the crash, Uma Thurman wanted to sue Miramax for damages, which is reasonable. She requested the footage and they refused to give it to her, knowing that she wanted to sue them. And so they just said no. And for years, she requested them. Even one point, she went to the police to try to add pressure. Another time, she cornered Tarantino at a house party and asked him, to which he replied, it was what they had all decided, which is such a cop-out. And at one point, Miramax did offer to let her have the footage, or at least see it, but only if she signed an agreement absolving them of responsibility for the crash. So basically, she wouldn't be able to sue them. So she didn't sign it, and so she didn't get the footage. 15 years later, she gets the footage from Tarantino. He only agrees to give it to her in the wake of the Harvey Weinstein accusations with the Me Too movement, which Uma Thurman was a part of. And at this point, she wasn't able to sue. So there's really nothing she could do except release it online, which she did post it to her Instagram. And that was like the first time the story had come to light. Now, to be fair, Uma Thurman has forgiven Quentin Tarantino and says she does not hold him responsible. She holds the 3 producers responsible, one of which was Harvey Weinstein. In her post, when she posted the footage to Instagram, she said, Quentin Tarantino is deeply regretful and remains remorseful about this sorry event and gave me the footage years later so I could expose it and let it see the light of day, regardless of it being most likely an event for which justice will never be possible. He also did so with full knowledge that it could cause him personal harm, and I'm proud of him for doing the right thing and for his courage. Tarantino has also apologized and expressed regret, saying, I didn't force her into the car. She got into the car because she trusted me and she believed me. It was heartbreaking. Beyond one of the biggest regrets of my career, it was one of the biggest regrets of my life. While it does seem like they buried the hatchet at this point, up until the crash, Tarantino considered Uma Thurman a creative partner, even calling her his muse at one point, and that partnership ended ultimately with the crash. They never worked together again after Kill Bill 2, and the whole thing's just a kind of gross story, and I really like Paul Dano. I thought Tarantino talking shit was really weird. What Paul Dano's not even like... why now? It's very weird to me. And so I just wanted to share a weird Tarantino story. Another story you should look into is Tarantino defending Roman Polanski's terrible, horrible crimes. Again, go read about that if you'd like. Read about what he said. It's pretty fucked up. Personal tidbit. I had a friend who was seeing a movie at the New Beverly Theater, Tarantino's theater in Los Angeles. And he sat down and was waiting for the movie before the movie started. And there was some guy behind him who was incredibly annoying and just talking super loud and talking a lot. And he's like, bro, what is this? Who is this guy? And he snuck a peek into his Quentin Tarantino.